Hi everyone, thanks for joining us again today as we continue reading the Great Illustrated Classics version of The Jungle Book by, by Rudyard Kipling. All right, so we're on chapter 2 today. This is called Mowgli's Lessons. And here is the first picture that we will start with. For the next several years, Mowgli grew up with the cubs. During these years, Father Wolf taught him the meaning of things in the jungle. He taught him to recognize sounds in the grass, smells in the air, scratches of every animal's claws, splashes of every fish, and the language of all the animals in the jungle. When Mowgli wasn't learning, he sat in the sun and slept and ate. Or he swam in the jungle pools or climbed up into trees for honey, for Baloo had told him that honey was as good to eat as raw meat, and Bagheera had taught him how to climb for it. At first, Mowgli clung to the tree trunks, but soon he learned how to swing from branch to branch by watching the apes and monkeys. Mowgli also learned that he had the power to stare at the other animals and force them to look away. He found this to be great fun. At night, he explored the fields around the villages and peered into men's huts. But after Bagheera showed him traps that men set out to catch jungle people, he quickly learned not to trust them. Bagheera also taught him to swim and run and kill for food, but the panther warned him, "You may kill anything in the jungle that you're strong enough to kill, but you are never to kill or eat any cattle, because a bull's life paid for your acceptance into the wolf's pack. That is the law of the jungle." Here he is learning how to swing in the trees. Baloo was delighted to have such a bright, eager pupil as Mowgli. When he taught the law of the jungle to young wolves, they would learn only what was important to their own pack. But the man cub had to learn about everything and everyone in the jungle, along with the laws governing them. There were many times when Mowgli grew tired of learning his lessons and reciting them back to Baloo, and the bear had to smack him, although softly. When Bagheera protested, he enjoyed spoiling the man cub. Baloo insisted, "The man cub must learn all the laws of the jungle." Excuse me. "But the man cub's head is only 7 years old," argued Bagheera. "It can't remember your hundreds and hundreds of words. Even your smacks and bruises can't force him to." Here they are talking, Bagheera and Baloo. "Isn't it better that he's bruised by someone who loves him than to risk his getting badly hurt as the result of being ignorant? I'm now teaching him the master words of the jungle. These words will make him a friend instantly to all the birds, snakes, and four-legged beasts in the jungle. Isn't that worth a few bruises?" The panther had to agree. "Now listen, Bagheera. I want you to hear Mowgli recite his master words." And Baloo called out, "Come down, little brother." Mowgli slid down a tree trunk and angrily snapped, "I come for Bagheera, not for you, fat old Baloo." "That doesn't matter to me," said the old bear. "Tell Bagheera the master words you learned today." Mowgli was delighted to show off, and he boasted, "I know the master words for all the languages of the jungle." And the boy spoke in bear language, and then switched to bird whistles, and then snake hisses. Proud of his success, Mowgli clapped his hands and jumped on Bagheera's back, gleefully kicking his heels into the panther's side and making the most horrid faces at Baloo. "Those faces don't bother me," said Baloo proudly. "Someday he'll thank me for all he's learned, for he'll never have to fear any creature in the jungle." "Except his own tribe," mumbled Bagheera. Then aloud he said to Mowgli, "What's all this kicking and dancing in my ribs for, little brother?" "That's what I've been trying to tell you, Bagheera. I'm going to have a tribe of my own and lead them swinging through the trees all day long. They promised me this, and I'll throw dirt and branches at old Baloo." "What kind of nonsense are you babbling?" scolded Bagheera. With his big paw, Baloo angrily scooped Mowgli off the panther's back and onto the ground. "He's been talking with the Vanderlog, the monkey people," roared the bear. Bagheera's eyes flashed with rage. "You ought to be ashamed of yourself, little brother. Those gray apes have no laws and no leaders. Jungle people refuse to have anything to do with them." "But when Baloo hit me, they took pity on me when no one else cared," sobbed Mowgli. Here he is sitting on Bagheera's back. Monkey people don't pity anyone, snapped Baloo. But they were so good to me. They gave me nuts and other good things to eat, and they carried me in their arms up to the top of the trees. They told me I was their blood brother and would be their leader one day. They were lying. They have no leader, argued Bagheera. They always lie. But they were so kind, and they invited me to come again. Why didn't you take me to learn from them as you did with the other jungle people, Baloo? The Vanderlogs stand on their feet as I do. They play all day and don't hit me. Let me up, Baloo. I want to play with them again. Listen, man cub, thundered the bear. I've taught you the laws of the jungle for everyone except the monkey people, because they are evil and dirty. Here he is talking with them angrily. They boast and chatter and pretend that they're great people, but they are not. They're also cruel. If they come upon a sick wolf or a wounded tiger or bear, they torment him and throw sticks and nuts at him just for fun. Then they shriek and howl and try to get us to climb up their trees and fight them. They even fight among themselves and leave their dead where we can find them. They do everything to make us notice them, but we refuse to. That's why they were so pleased when you came to play with them. At that moment, a shower of nuts and twigs came raining down on their heads. Bagheera and Baloo took Mowgli between them and trotted off, with the panther warning, Little brother, you are to have nothing to do with those monkey people ever again. Here they are with the nuts and twigs coming down. Actually, the Vanderlog didn't want to lose this wonderful 7-year-old leader. They had seen him weave sticks together to make walls and huts, and they had wanted him to teach them to do it too. They were convinced that this skill would make them the wisest people in the jungle and the envy of every creature on land and in the air. So the Vanderlog quietly followed Mowgli and his friends through the jungle. They stayed hidden and watched as all three lay down for their midday nap. Mowgli was feeling very ashamed of himself as he snuggled on the ground between his two friends. Before he closed his eyes, he made a promise to himself. I'll never have anything to do with the monkey people ever again. And this is them following them quietly, secretively. And that is it for today. Chapter 3 we will do next time. Okay, until then, bye.